Oh, hello?
Yeah, hello, because we need to do our intro.
Oh yeah, we keep talking about doing that. Yes, hello. Here we are again. Oh, and I have to tell you, I don't usually
We'll get to the intro here in a minute.
dress to the nines, but it's a special occasion today, and I have such rare opportunities to actually wear the hundreds of necklaces that I have made and owned. They just hang on the wall and look at me, but I decided today would be a good day to just put all that stuff on, and my little
She got duded up.
Frida brooch here is holding my collar together. I didn't have time to iron my shirt, so
For the video.
for the video, so we ironed the tablecloth, but not my shirt.
Well, sort of. We threw it in the dryer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but didn't have time for all that. Okay, yes, hello.
Hello. PM Artist Studio. P.
M.
Patricia. Mariah. See, we're still working on it. We'll get better.
Yes, it isn't in the PM. It's still, well, actually, it's getting pretty close to PM.
Yeah.
Good light, overcast. We're downstairs, obviously.
Hopefully we have a moment of quiet.
Yes.
To take a walk in the park. Tessa. Because that's the paper we're using.
Yay. And we loved it.
Yes.
It really worked well with what we were.
Well,
what
we
the
actually
concept
got,
was.
we got a little,
Oh,
this is
I
a
should-
sneaky peeky.
I
kind
didn't
of
bring down all of my information,
the notes.
my notes, and my
Is it still,
concepts.
Yeah, and I should probably
Okay,
turn
we're
off
gonna
the
have
dishwasher.
to stop.
Back with
Back
the-
again.
Yes, with notes and everything.
Yes,
We're struggling today.
frantically ran upstairs, so I'm all huffy here. Okay, notes, and I wanted to show everybody this because I think sometimes people think, oh well, you just this idea was just an easy thing that came about. It's not. It started out, and I don't know if everybody can see
Or
that.
you can hold it under, we have a second video running.
Yes, we do, so that you can actually see my face as I'm talking about this. But this is the actual concept drawing of how it all started out. And somewhere, excuse me, I'm having allergies. I saw a really cool woven card, or I don't know, it was something on woven. And I just thought that would be so cool, because when you think about Easter baskets, what do you think? Woven sides. And then the papers came out.
Well, Marie, she posted the papers for a different thing, for design team stuff, but
We sort of said,
can we use that?
please, we need these papers. I needed these papers because the basket was not going to be the same without those papers.
Which is pretty funny because if you remember in our last video, we were talking about how much she loves brown and brown. But these are not brown.
I
This
guess
is a walk in the park with Tessa.
it
They're
is.
very springy.
It is, and I think maybe it's just because of everything that's going on is so dire and drab and whatever. I needed a bit of a picker-upper, and this certainly was a picker-upper. Now,
Second set of notes.
second set of notes, and I don't know if I'll
Well,
do this.
hold that up to the camera because that's the scale.
Okay. And I don't usually do things on a prepared. It's two pieces of cardboard with paper wrapped around it, and it's what I put things on to dry. But I just happened to have this when I was sitting with Izzy watching, I'm not really sure.
No, they were being, no screen time.
Yeah, it's screen time. Anyway, sitting there, and I was just messing around, and I had this board that my computer was sitting on, and I just had this idea, so I just started writing this down. And it's so funny because, and this happens a lot, when I will come to Mariah with an idea, and she will say, oh my gosh, I was having the same idea, just not exactly like that. And that happens a lot.
Yes, with us, it does.
It really does. But anyway.
Or I didn't read her notes, the second set of notes, and I was like, I should probably read those before I go and complain about some of these things that she was having me do in the first set of notes, which were like little opening door things and crazy stuff. And I'm like,
and that was a really brilliant idea, but number one, it was really hard to execute as far as Mariah's part of this, which a lot of this is her actual doing part. I just helped put it together, and the basket is woven. I mean, it is physically woven. She could have done that digitally, of course she could have. But I just thought it was really necessary, because sometimes I feel sort of uninvolved in the process if it goes digital. There's not really much other than advisory.
Here comes the
That's
dog.
our dog.
It's a busy,
She's
busy
just
day out on the walking
sure
trail.
that we are being attacked by zombies. Nah, she's gonna get them. Go messy. Anyway, back to the. This
Not
is
a
kinda
walk
how-
in the park today.
This is how the whole. Actually, they walked in the park, and we didn't get this on the road quite soon enough.
No.
So
Well, we were still finishing up.
yeah, we were finishing up the actual putting together of the pieces and parts. And there's a lovely little voice which you will probably recognize as.
Oh my goodness. She's had her makeup. This is how we bribed her to not be in the video.
She's putting her makeup on, which is actually just some shimmered,
Sparkly stuff.
yeah, powder.
Boy, does she do it
Art.
right.
She really likes it, and she noticed that we both had makeup on today, which is very unusual. Why
So
put
should we,
makeup on if you're
let's
not
let's
going
pause. We'll pause.
in? We'll pause. You want?
Okay.
What have you been doing, Isabella? Look at the camera and tell them.
Makeup what? Makeup fun?
Did you put a little bit on your eyes and a little bit on the rest of your face? Did you look in the mirror while you were doing that?
Look.
Look.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Right there.
It's a lot of
Do
sparkle.
you think it looks really good?
I love it.
Ah, well, we love it too.
I know.
All right, now you need to go back upstairs with Popsy, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. You look beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Yes, you're very glowy.
She's definitely gonna take a bath. Okay, come on, Izzy.
Dear Lord.
Oh, that was all on video?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
video.
All right, we're back. This is, this is the reality of what actually happens here and how.
Why it's so difficult to actually get a video done.
Is
Or
it
anything.
A professional quality, yes, anything. And here comes the dog.
She's back.
She's taking care of the zombies. Okay, now where were we here? Okay.
Tessa, a walk in the park.
Walk
Our
in the-
video, not so much.
Oh, good one, Mariah. Okay, well, this video just screams at you to touch me because there are so many actual tactile surfaces that you can engage with, and I think
Here.
that is. Oh, we didn't have that one going. All right, well, now we do. Tactile surfaces that just make you want to rub your finger over them and actually feel them. And the woven parts, you can actually feel that. And the grass over here and the textures on the flowers and everything. That is all about Mariah.
All right, and so let me chime in for a second, because when she brings me these notes, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is going to be kind of silly. I don't know. And I thought it was a bit weird that she was actually wanting this whole eggs in a basket Eastery business.
Yeah, bright and cheerful colors, This is really not my forte.
And I said, well, so what are we going to do with this space? The space right here, because I knew that. See, this is me and my layout of the figuring out of where everything
And she
goes.
Yes, and she asked me questions that I don't know the answer to
And
yet.
she says to me, kind of jokingly, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I said, well, that's cute. What are you going to put on the other page?
So this came about over here.
Keep some hidden.
Keep some hidden. That's really that. I mean,
All right, you should take some.
philosophical. Philosophical, yes.
It's
Okay,
fine.
now let's. All right, so the eggs are not just eggs. The eggs are pictures of the child that you just saw when she looked a little more normal.
I don't know if I'm going to put her in the video. We'll see.
Here she is, little angel that she is. It's not definitely. I want to make sure I've got this
Yeah.
going the right way. But those are the backs of the eggs.
So this is not only like journal page with, this
Yeah, with kids.
existential.
Oh. Oh, that was a good one, Mariah. Here's our little egg-headed baby. She's very
Such a chunker butt.
chunk.
I know, and that photo didn't come out that great, but
I don't
again,
know what
just
it is. It's not a very good one. We'll
I'll
put
print
this
out
in.
another one, stick it on top.
But we love, isn't this just wonderful? The unicorn.
She still has that unicorn horn.
Yeah, she does. It's just a bit, and here she is with her papa. And here
Oh,
she
chunky,
is.
chunky baby.
But all the pink, you can see the pink, lots of pink. And here she is with her Lola. So, all of these little guys, and I think that this is pretty cute, even when you take the eggs away. Look how cute those flowers are coming out of the grass.
Well, and we wanted to use, okay, so let's kind of talk a little bit more into the papers and the sizing and all of that. So we did shrink down for the eggs, the pattern,
and I had to
and for
work
the
on that
basket,
one.
obviously. And I did that all digitally, so I printed out just these strips, and then we cut them, and then Mom wove them. And then with the eggs, it did the same thing, printed those out at a little bit different, a little bit larger scale than what the basket. And then for the background, the sky, I knocked back the opacity. Here's where Mom starts glazing over usually. She's futzing around with
Tech
the
talk. If you
Tech
don't want to
talk.
listen to that, you can watch me turn over eggs.
So it turned the opacity back so it wouldn't be so crazy like in your face, and it's more background, but it gives that little sky view because I didn't want a bunch of just plain white space on the page, nor did we want to do a bunch of coloring or sprays or anything like that. And these patterns lent very well to doing that and still keeping it all in there. And even on the sun, that's another one of the Tessa paper kits. I just, for the life of me, I'll drop it in because it's another one Marie just came out with. Sorry, I should have done my homework. But it's the lemons, which is so super cute.
Yes, we love the lemons. I love the lemons.
So kind of snuck that in there because we needed it for our sunshine.
We did it. That space up there was just screaming for something, very obviously screaming for something.
Yes.
And
And that's basically it. Oh, and the a lot of the grass and the frou-frou stuff had to be trimmed multiple times because it was a bit furry. It's like,
well,
you're
I
not
left
going to see
it
the
long.
eggs.
You can always cut it off, but
That's
it's really hard to put it back on after it's been chopped off.
Oh, some of our tips. Remember about doing the woven thing? We were thinking that if, okay, here's,
Yes.
if you do want to do this sort of thing, all right, and you're bumping the table here.
Sorry, bumpy.
Betty Bumper. Just moving the thing over there. Okay, so we figured out that if you did it upside down when you did the weaving, because basically it's this, you tape it at the top.
You create your warp, which is the verticals. Create your warp. Now the only thing that you'll have to do if you do that turning upside down, you're going to have to lay your papers out in this the way that you want them, unless they're
'cause otherwise
double-sided, because you're not going to be And I tried to very much get, as you can see, a nice blend of all of the patterns here, interspersed with this one that has very little contrast, so you really can't tell if it has a pattern. But those are all the patterns, but they're just made minuscule so that they fit with the whole size of the basket.
Yeah, because if you were to print it out at its regular scale, you wouldn't see any of the pattern. Just some things to kind of keep in mind, and one of the great things about these printable papers.
It is, and the
That you
other
could play with that sort of thing.
another little tip for the weaving of the strips is try to make sure that they're fairly uniform, because if they slide off and go fat to thin, it's hard for you to get your paper in there evenly. And there's a couple places where it's off a little bit, but it wasn't enough to, toss the whole baby out with the bathwater kind of situation. It worked, it was just a little more difficult.
And then what we did is put double-sided tape, and I had, when I cut out the flowers and the eggs, so the flowers, the eggs, and the basket are all cut out on the Cricut. Because we needed something, a base,
Yes.
a form. So then stick that to it, trimmed out, left a, 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch of the weave still there.
Around the edges, because you're turning it under.
Yeah. Then turn it under and glue that. So the little basket pieces actually wrap around.
And before you, if you're doing it like that, you don't necessarily need to tape down. If you tape it down and you're doing it from the front side, tape your warp down. That will keep it from getting wishy-wishy.
At the top, because you have to, this is like weaving, so you're gonna have to,
Yeah, you have to have a stationary base to
I
begin
could
with.
be really nice and create like a file that if you printed it out, because you could do it on the Cricut, you could do a little weave thing. So it would be the cutout, then you do your thing, stick your tape, put your form, and cut it all, do the trim.
Well, there you go.
Some ideas. Hey, if you want that, let me know.
Yeah, Mariah can make that
I
happen.
can make that happen.
I can just give you ideas about weaving. I just know how to do it physically.
I think that's the walk in the park with Tessa. That was our video, not a walk in the park, but we got her done.
We did, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed this project.
Yes.
Very much enjoyed it.
Bye.
Thanks, Marie.